Imagine a mind so brilliant, it redefined the very fabric of our universe. With just a chalk and a blackboard, he unlocked the secret of time and space. But behind the wild hair and the famous equation lies a story of rebellion, passion, and relentless curiosity. This is not just the tale of a genius. This is the journey of Albert Einstein, a man who dared to question everything. Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879, in the southern German city of Ulm. His father, Hermann Einstein, was an engineer and a salesman, and his mother, Pauline Koch, was a homemaker. Albert had one younger sister, Maya, who would remain a close companion throughout his life. From an early age, Einstein displayed an extraordinary curiosity about the world around him. He was particularly fascinated by the mysteries of nature and the mechanics of how things worked. However, his early education was not without challenges. At the age of 5, he attended a Catholic elementary school in Munich, where his family had moved shortly after his birth. Despite being a slow learner and struggling with the rigid schooling system, he showed a keen interest in mathematics and physics. Einstein's formal education continued at the Untold Gymnasium in Munich, but the strict discipline of the school clashed with his independent and inquisitive nature. One incident that exemplified his rebellious spirit occurred when a teacher told him that he would never amount to anything. Despite such discouragements, young Albert found solace in self-study, diving into books on science and philosophy that were far beyond his years. In 1894, due to financial difficulties, the Einstein family moved to Italy, and Albert followed them after finishing his schooling in Munich. It was during this period that he decided to renounce his German citizenship and move to Switzerland to avoid military service. His parents supported this decision, recognizing his unique talents and the oppressive nature of the German educational system at the time. In 1896, Einstein enrolled at the Swiss Federal Polytechnic in Zurich, where he initially aimed to become a teacher of physics and mathematics. However, his independent spirit and non-conformist attitude often put him at odds with his professors. Despite these challenges, he graduated in 1900 with a diploma in mathematics and physics. During his time at the Polytechnic, he formed close friendships with fellow students and professors, including Marcel Grossmann, who would later play a significant role in his career. Einstein's personal life during these years was also notable. He fell in love with Mileva Maric, a fellow student at the Polytechnic. Mileva was one of the few women studying at the institution and shared Einstein's passion for science. Their relationship faced many challenges, including opposition from Einstein's family, but their shared intellectual pursuits created a strong bond between them. After graduation, Einstein faced difficulties in finding a permanent academic position. He worked as a tutor and substitute teacher before securing a job at the Swiss Patent Office in Bern in 1902. This seemingly mundane job allowed him ample time to think, and it was during his time at the patent office that he began to develop his most groundbreaking theories. Einstein's years at the patent office, often referred to as his miracle years, were a period of intense intellectual activity. He worked on various theoretical problems during his spare time, leading to his Annus Mirabilis papers in 1905. These papers would change the course of modern physics and lay the foundation for his future contributions to the field. But just as Einstein's career was beginning to take off, he would face a series of challenges that would test his resolve and push his intellectual capabilities to their limits. The year 1905 is often referred to as Einstein's Annus Mirabilis, or Miracle Year, because of the 4 seminal papers he published in the journal Annalen der Physik. These papers would revolutionize the field of physics and establish Einstein as a leading scientist. The first paper, titled On a Heuristic Viewpoint Concerning the Production and Transformation of Light, proposed that light could be understood as quanta of energy, later called photons. This work provided crucial evidence for the emerging theory of quantum mechanics. Einstein's explanation of the photoelectric effect, where light striking a material releases electrons, was pivotal in demonstrating that light could behave as both a wave and a particle. This paper earned him the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921. The second paper, on the movement of small particles suspended in stationary liquids required by the molecular kinetic theory of heat, introduced the concept of Brownian motion. Einstein provided a theoretical explanation for the erratic movement of particles suspended in a fluid, offering empirical evidence for the existence of atoms and molecules. This work further cemented his reputation as a formidable physicist and played a significant role in the acceptance of atomic theory. The third paper, on the electrodynamics of moving bodies, introduced the theory of special relativity. This groundbreaking work fundamentally changed the understanding of space and time, proposing that the laws of physics are the same for all non-accelerating observers, and that the speed of light is constant regardless of the observer's motion. One of the most famous outcomes of this theory is the equation E equals mc squared, which established the relationship between mass and energy. This equation implied that a small amount of mass could be converted into a large amount of energy, a principle that would later be crucial in the development of nuclear energy. The fourth paper, does the inertia of a body depend upon its energy content? Built upon the ideas of special relativity and further explored the equivalence of mass and energy. This work laid the groundwork for future developments in nuclear physics and had profound implications for the understanding of the universe. Einstein's Annus Mirabilis papers not only showcased his exceptional intellect, but also demonstrated his ability to think beyond the conventional boundaries of science. His innovative approach to problem solving and his willingness to challenge established theories set him apart from his contemporaries. These papers marked the beginning of a new era in physics and established Einstein as a revolutionary thinker. The impact of Einstein's Annus Mirabilis papers was felt across the scientific community. They prompted a re-evaluation of existing theories and inspired new lines of research. His work on the photoelectric effect, for instance, paved the way for the development of quantum mechanics, which would dominate physics in the 20th century. Similarly, his theory of special relativity challenged the classical notions of absolute space and time, leading to a deeper understanding of the nature of the universe. Despite the initial skepticism from some quarters, Einstein's ideas gradually gained acceptance as experimental evidence accumulated in their favor. His ability to blend theoretical insights with empirical observations made his work particularly compelling. By the end of 1905, Einstein had firmly established himself as one of the leading physicists of his time, and his future contributions would only further solidify his reputation. But as Einstein's fame grew, so did the expectations and pressures from the scientific community. Following the publication of his Annus Mirabilis papers, Einstein's reputation in the scientific community grew rapidly. In 1908, he was appointed as a lecturer at the University of Bern, and in 1909, he became a full professor at the University of Zurich. His academic career continued to flourish, with positions at the German University in Prague and the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich. In 1912, Einstein returned to Germany to take up a position at the Prussian Academy of Sciences in Berlin. It was here that he began to develop his theory of general relativity, which would become one of his most significant contributions to science. The theory, published in 1915, extended the principles of special relativity to include gravity, providing a new understanding of the curvature of space-time caused by massive objects. The development of general relativity was not without its challenges. Einstein faced intense competition from other physicists, including the renowned mathematician David Hilbert, who was also working on similar ideas. The race to publish the theory was a source of great stress for Einstein, but his perseverance paid off when he presented his final form of the field equations in November 1915. The confirmation of general relativity came in 1919, when British astronomer Sir Arthur Eddington observed the bending of starlight around the sun during a solar eclipse, as predicted by Einstein's theory. This discovery catapulted Einstein to international fame and solidified his status as one of the greatest scientific minds of his time. Newspapers around the world heralded the news with headlines such as "Revolution in Science" and "Newton Overthrown." Einstein's theory of general relativity had profound implications for the understanding of the universe. It predicted the existence of black holes, the expansion of the universe, and the bending of light by gravity. These predictions would later be confirmed by further observations and experiments, cementing the theory's place as one of the cornerstones of modern physics. During this period, Einstein's personal life also underwent significant changes. His marriage to Mileva Maric faced increasing strain, partly due to his growing fame and the pressures of his work. The couple had two sons, Hans Albert and Eduard, but their relationship deteriorated, leading to their separation in 1914 and eventual divorce in 1919. Einstein later married his cousin, Elsa Lowenthal, who provided him with much-needed emotional support. Einstein's rising fame brought both opportunities and challenges. He became a sought-after lecturer, traveling extensively to share his ideas with audiences around the world. His public lectures were attended by large crowds, eager to hear the insights of the man who had revolutionized their understanding of the universe. However, his fame also attracted criticism and controversy, particularly from those who were resistant to his radical ideas. As Einstein navigated the complexities of his personal and professional life, he continued to push the boundaries of scientific knowledge. But his journey was far from over. The 1920s and 1930s were a period of significant public attention and political engagement for Einstein. His fame extended beyond the scientific community, making him a household name around the world. He used his platform to advocate for various social and political causes, including pacifism, Zionism, and civil rights. Einstein's commitment to pacifism was a central theme in his public life. He was a vocal critic of militarism and war, speaking out against the arms race and the rise of nationalism in Europe. His experiences during World War I, when he witnessed the devastating consequences of conflict, reinforced his belief in the need for peace and international cooperation. He was an active member of the League of Nations International Committee on Intellectual Cooperation and used his influence to promote disarmament and diplomatic solutions to global conflicts. In addition to his pacifist activities, Einstein became increasingly involved in the Zionist movement, which sought to establish a Jewish homeland in Palestine. While he was not a nationalist, he supported the cultural and intellectual aspects of Zionism, advocating for the establishment of educational and scientific institutions in the region. He was instrumental in the founding of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem and served as a member of its first board of governors. Einstein's political activities often brought him into conflict with the authorities and conservative elements of society. He faced criticism and hostility from various quarters, including nationalist and anti-Semitic groups in Germany. Despite these challenges, he remained steadfast in his convictions, using his fame to draw attention to issues of social justice
and human rights. The rise of the Nazi regime in Germany in the early 1930s posed a significant threat to Einstein, who was Jewish and a prominent critic of the regime. In 1933, he made the difficult decision to leave Germany, accepting a position at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, New Jersey. This move marked the beginning of his life in exile, and he would never return to his homeland. Einstein's departure from Germany was not just a personal loss, but also a significant blow to the German scientific community. Many of his colleagues and fellow Jewish scientists were forced to flee the country, leading to a brain drain that significantly weakened German science. Einstein's relocation to the United States provided him with a new platform to continue his work and advocacy. In the United States, Einstein became a prominent public figure and continued his scientific research while also engaging in political activism. He became a naturalized American citizen in 1940 and used his influence to support the Allied war effort during World War II. Despite his pacifist beliefs, he recognized the threat posed by Nazi Germany and supported the development of the atomic bomb as a necessary measure to ensure victory. Einstein's role in the development of the atomic bomb was complex and often misunderstood. In 1939, he signed a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, warning of the potential for Nazi Germany to develop nuclear weapons and urging the United States to pursue its own research. This letter, co-written with physicist Leo Szilard, played a crucial role in the establishment of the Manhattan Project. However, Einstein did not directly participate in the project's research and was deeply troubled by the use of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. After the war, Einstein became a leading advocate for nuclear disarmament and international control of atomic energy. He warned of the dangers posed by nuclear weapons and the arms race, calling for a new approach to global security based on cooperation and diplomacy. His public stance on these issues made him a prominent figure in the peace movement and a vocal critic of the emerging Cold War tensions. Einstein's later years were marked by both scientific pursuits and continued advocacy for social justice. He focused on developing a unified field theory, an ambitious project aimed at reconciling the fundamental forces of nature into a single theoretical framework. Despite his efforts, this work remained incomplete at the time of his death. Einstein's commitment to social justice extended to his support for the civil rights movement in the United States. He was an outspoken critic of racism and segregation, using his platform to advocate for equality and human rights. He corresponded with civil rights leaders such as W.E.B. Du Bois and Paul Robeson, and publicly denounced the discriminatory practices that plagued American society.
Einstein's move to the United States coincided with the tumultuous years leading up to and during World War II. While he was a staunch pacifist, the threat posed by Nazi Germany led him to take a more active role in political matters. In 1939, he signed a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, warning about the potential for Nazi Germany to develop atomic weapons and urging the United States to pursue its own research in this area. This letter, written with the help of physicist Leo Szilard, played a crucial role in the establishment of the Manhattan Project, which ultimately led to the development of the atomic bomb. Despite his involvement in the early stages of the atomic bomb project, Einstein did not directly participate in the research and development of the weapon. He was not invited to join the Manhattan Project, partly due to his pacifist views and his perceived political leanings. After the war, he expressed deep regret over the use of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki and became a leading advocate for nuclear disarmament. Einstein's role in the development of nuclear weapons was a complex and often misunderstood aspect of his legacy. While he recognized the necessity of preventing Nazi Germany from obtaining such weapons,
He was deeply troubled by the destructive power of atomic bombs and the ethical implications of their use. His public stance on these issues highlighted the moral dilemmas faced by scientists and policymakers in the atomic age. In the post-war years, Einstein's voice became one of the most prominent in the global movement for peace and disarmament. He was a founding member of the Emergency Committee of Atomic Scientists, an organization dedicated to educating the public about the dangers of nuclear weapons and advocating for international control of atomic energy. He also supported the establishment of the United Nations and called for the creation of a world government to prevent future conflicts. Einstein's commitment to social justice extended beyond his work on nuclear disarmament. He was an outspoken critic of racism and segregation in the United States, using his platform to support the civil rights movement. He corresponded with civil rights leaders such as W.E.B. Du Bois and Paul Robeson, and publicly denounced the discriminatory practices that plagued American society. Einstein's involvement in the civil rights movement was a testament to his belief in the fundamental dignity and equality of all people. He used his influence to draw attention to the injustices faced by African Americans and other marginalized groups, speaking out against the systemic discrimination that pervaded American society. His friendship with Du Bois, a prominent sociologist and civil rights activist, underscored his commitment to these issues and his willingness to lend his voice to the struggle for racial justice. As the world grappled with the aftermath of World War II and the dawn of the atomic age, Einstein's voice remained a beacon of reason and humanity.
In the years following World War II, Einstein continued his scientific work, though his contributions during this period were less groundbreaking than his earlier achievements. He focused on developing a unified field theory, an attempt to reconcile the fundamental forces of nature into a single theoretical framework. Despite his efforts, this work remained incomplete at the time of his death. Einstein's pursuit of a unified field theory was driven by his belief in the underlying simplicity and harmony of the natural world. He sought to extend the principles of general relativity and electromagnetism to encompass all known forces, including the weak and strong nuclear forces. This ambitious project attracted significant attention and criticism from the scientific community, with some viewing it as a quixotic quest that detracted from more productive lines of research. During this period, Einstein also engaged in correspondence and collaboration with many of the leading physicists of his time. He maintained a lively intellectual exchange with colleagues such as Erwin Schrödinger, Kurt Gödel, and Wolfgang Pauli, discussing the latest developments in theoretical physics and offering his insights on various topics. These interactions reflected his enduring curiosity and commitment to advancing scientific knowledge, even as he approached the twilight of his career. Einstein also became increasingly involved in social and political causes. He was a vocal supporter of civil rights and worked alongside figures like Paul Robeson and W.E.B. Du Bois to combat racism and segregation in the United States. His advocacy for social justice extended to his opposition to McCarthyism and the Red Scare, which targeted many of his colleagues and friends in the scientific community. Einstein's outspokenness on political issues often made him a target of criticism and controversy. He faced accusations of being a communist sympathizer and was subjected to government surveillance. Despite these challenges, he remained steadfast in his convictions, using his fame and influence to advocate for peace, equality, and human rights. Einstein's health began to decline in the early 1950s, and he spent his final years in relative seclusion. He continued to work on his scientific projects and correspond with colleagues, but his physical condition limited his activities. Despite his declining health,
he remained intellectually active and engaged with the world around him. Albert Einstein passed away on April 18, 1955, at the age of 76. His death marked the end of an era in science, but his legacy continued to inspire future generations of scientists, thinkers, and activists. He left behind a body of work that transformed the understanding of the universe and a legacy of social and political engagement that highlighted the responsibility of scientists to use their knowledge for the betterment of humanity. Einstein's contributions to science and society are immeasurable. His theories of relativity and quantum mechanics revolutionized the field of physics and laid the foundation for many of the technological advancements of the 20th century. His work on the photoelectric effect paved the way for the development of quantum mechanics, which continues to shape the understanding of the fundamental nature of matter and energy. Beyond his scientific achievements, Einstein's commitment to social justice and peace serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of using one's influence for the greater good. His advocacy for civil rights, nuclear disarmament, and international cooperation reflected his belief in the potential for humanity to overcome its divisions and build a more just and peaceful world. As we reflect on Einstein's remarkable journey, we are reminded of the limitless possibilities that lie within each of us and the profound impact that one individual can have on the world. His life and work continue to resonate with people around the world, inspiring new generations to pursue knowledge, advocate for justice, and strive for a better future.